Today we will have a rod review. We will talk about Zenaq's new Muthos Accura 95H. It's Zenaq's new rockshore rod, and I will tell you my impressions, especially fishing this rod here in the Mediterranean Sea, so stay tuned.
First fish on the 95.
So the structure of today's video is I will talk about my first impressions when I got my hands on the new 95H. I will talk about the specs, of course. Then we will switch over to casting with a 95H from shore. And I will talk about jig animation because, you know, shore jigging is a very important technique here. But of course also other lures I have fished with a 95H, and at the end I will give you a good conclusion what I think this baby is capable of. When I got the 95H in my hands, I immediately noticed it's a very powerful rod for the shore game. It has nearly the backbone of the 100 double H and the tip very close to the 100H. So is it basically the rod combining the best of both worlds? Let's go through this video and answer this question. As the name already says, it's a 9-foot rod and 5-inch long. So in centimeters, it's 287 centimeters. So basically 2 meters and 87 centimeters long. So it's about 18 centimeters shorter compared to my 100H, so a 10-foot rod. But that has some advantages, but also little disadvantages. We will see when we go through the video. But what are the other specs? I fish the 95H as a Type R model, so it has the classic RG guide setting, but single wrappings. Remember Type R. And if you don't know really what Type R is, watch this video. I explain it in detail. It has the new hexagon reel seat, which is very, very nice. And of course, a hexagon grip in the front, a normal grip here rear. And yeah, it has a casting weight of normal lures from 30 to 230 grams. And from plug, because I don't fish plug often, from 30 to 180 grams. And yeah. In general, it's a very, very nice rod. It is short and it is light, but powerful. What I, of course, did is I weighted these rods to see how heavy or light it is, and compared it to my 100H. And I saw that it is 17 grams lighter compared to the Zenaq Accura 100H. And this comes basically, I think, from because it is a shorter rod, but it is also more powerful in the backbone. And I find it quite interesting where they save this 17 grams. Where is it coming from compared to the 100H? And I will drop you this information in the comments below. If they save the 17 grams from the top section or the rear section. So if you're interested in that information, have a look in the comments. About the casting of the 95H, I was very impressed. But before we talk about this, I have to tell you what setup I fish. So I fish the 95H with my regular shore jigging reel. It's the Catalina 4500H. And you see the balance point, it's very well balanced. Wow. It's the old Daiwa size, so it is close nowadays to an 8000 size with PE3. This is my standard shore jigging setup, and of course also here in the Mediterranean for the 95H. And with this setup, I started testing the rods. About the casting, I was very, very impressed because I like to fish heavy, long jigs, like 120 gram long, 22 centimeters jigs, like really long. And the rod is perfect for that, guys. Because the tip section is a little bit stronger compared to the 100H, it casts these long, heavy jigs like it shoots them like bam, like a bullet. And because also the rod is shorter, it's more easy to apply this pressure during the cast, and the tip section does the rest, and like really the power shoots the jig out. And yeah, it was very impressive to see how, first of all, easy it was to cast long, heavy jigs, but second of all, the distance I could reach with these jigs, because when I fished the 100H with these jigs, they easily like start rotating during they fly, and of course this costs me a lot of casting distance. But with the 95H, I was very happy to see that it is so easy to cast these jigs and shoot them like really out, and I was reaching the same distance like casting an 100 gram jig, and this was very impressive for me. But how is the overall casting distance with the 95H? You know, guys, shorter rods usually cast less distance, but I was very impressed because the 95H cast a 100 gram jig like nearly as far as my 100H. And I think again, this is because the tip section is a little bit stronger, and the shorter rod makes it easier to apply high pressure on this rod. And my average cast was about 95 meters with a 100 gram jig, so it was totally perfect. Guys, support me by subscribing to my channel and ensure that I can produce these fishing rod reviews for you. So Jig Animation with the 95H, guys, is very interesting. I think the lower start, or the start of the 95H regarding jigs, is 85 gram semi-long jigs. And why do I say semi-long? Because the 95H, as I told you, has a little bit stronger tip. So it needs this pressure that a semi-long jig provides when you jig it through the water to properly work, like make the tip of the 95 work. The sweet spot of these rods, which is somewhere between 100 to 120 grams. This is very, very nice to fish with the 95H, but you can even fish a lot higher. So I tested it up to 160 grams and fishing like really deep places, and it can handle these big jigs easy. And not only the big jigs, also the big water pressure in these spots. So this is basically what I think is the strength of the 95H, are big jigs and deep places with currents, or just really deep spots when you want to target big fish. Because the rod is shorter, it is more easy to animate these like heavy jigs, and it's less effort to fish them all day long. because you know it is very like exhausting for your shoulder, your arm, when you're jigging in these spots for hours with these heavy jigs, as well as casting like these heavy jigs is something exhausting. But because the rod is shorter and has this like stronger tip section, it casts you the heavy jigs more easy. And on the other side, it also provides you a nice and easy jig animation, because you don't have to give too much power in the whole jigging process, because the tip is strong enough to really kick your jigs through the water. So you have to invest less energy in fishing these big jigs in deep places. And regarding jigging, I think this is the perfect field for the 95H, is deep places, big jigs, targeting big fish. This is at least how I will use the rods. And I told you at the beginning, it starts from 85 gram. And I have tested it also with 80 gram slim jigs, but because of this stronger tip section, it's they don't work like very nice. It's super technical, this animation of these small and slim jigs, because they easily dart through the water, and they are not really providing the pressure the tip of the 95H needs to like bend and do like this animation process. So it works, but I really have to say I don't like it, and it's very, very technical. So regarding jigs, the 95H starts from 85 grams semi-long jigs up to 160 and probably above, with a sweet point between 100-120 gram. This is actually a jig weight I really, really like to fish, and is perfect for like targeting, let's say, amberjacks or these fish. On the other hand, the backbone is more powerful. We know it is close to the backbone of the 100 double H, so it's actually perfect for this kind of field targeting big fish, because you can apply a lot of pressure on these big fish. Okay, other lures I have fished with a 95H. Because it is a big part of my fishing, I tested heavy soft baits. With heavy, I mean like 5-inch plus soft baits with 90 gram heads, so really like big stuff. Casting again is easy and nice. But what I noticed is because of the stronger tip section, you can start the lure quicker from the bottom and away from the structures they provide snag. So it's nice. As well as you have the opportunity to like set the hook with a lot of energy. Because you know, I like to fish like soft baits with offset hooks, and sometimes it's good to properly set the hook. And I had the joy to catch a nice Dentex on the 95H, and yeah, it was the fish like took the soft bait when it was falling, and it was immediately on. And because of the power of the rod, I was surprised how fast I took the fish out. It was a 4.5 kilo Dentex, I don't know, in this range, maybe a bit more. And the 95H just destroyed it. It had no chance. And yeah, I took it so fast out that I was actually able to release it again. And it was a very nice and perfect test for the 95H. But I think this rod can handle much more, much bigger fish. And yeah, for example, when you like to target big groupers, the backbone of the 95H will allow you to apply a lot of pressure on this fish and stop them from going into the hole. So this is something I've tested and I really liked, as well as sinking pencils. I fished some heavy sinking pencils. What I liked was because the rod is shorter, the whole animation process when you twitch them or jerk them through the water column is nice and easy, as well as the stronger tip provides a good kick to like animate these lures also in deeper places. So this is really something I liked and I tested with a 95H, as well as I can imagine is a really good rod for like surface stick baits or poppers or that stuff. I don't fish here often in the Mediterranean because most of our target species are like mid-water orientated or bottom orientated and not so much looking on the surface. The only fish who does it, and that's why I don't fish it, is the tunas. But unfortunately we are not allowed to catch tunas here, and that's why I avoid catching or fishing these big poppers, but I guess it's a very nice rod for doing that as well. Thanks for watching till the end. Please make sure you have subscribed to my channel and yeah, support me to produce these kind of videos for you. Let's quickly switch to my conclusion about the 95H. The 95H is a very powerful rockshore rod, definitely. It combines both worlds, so the 100H and the 100H, it's basically in the middle. It has a backbone like close to the double H and a tip section a little bit stronger like the 100H. So it's a perfect rod to target big fish with heavy lures in deep places. And what I found out is that the 95H is more an all-around rod than a perfect jigging rod. It handles jigs very nice from 100 gram above, and the main field regarding jigs is definitely big jigs, deep places, big fish. That's for sure. It has some difficulties with light jigs, especially 80 gram slim jigs is not exactly what you want to do with this rod. And yeah, so if you are looking for a short jigging rod of like 80 gram, 100 gram jigs, this field, have a look in this video. I think the 100H is much better for you. But if you are interested in big fish and getting them out from the shore and you were fishing like a heavy 10-foot rod, guys, this baby, have a look at it. It was such a joy, or it is such a joy. And it was so impressive how light, but on the other hand, strong this rod is. And yeah, how it can handle good fish, as well as the whole like fishing process, the casting and all that. So me personally, I'm very much looking forward to the autumn season to test this and properly bend this rod. And yeah, thanks for watching. Leave me all your questions in the comment section below and see you in the next video.